rock and roll, guys. Thank you for joining us for the webinar today. I'm Coach Micheal Burt. Love spending time with progressive people. And today's topic is a very specific topic because I believe that trained people always outperform untrained people. That's a big thing I believe. I believe coach people always outperform uncoached people. And I believe that I can help a person get a 43% increase in their first year with me if they will do the things that we're focusing on, okay? Now, having said that, I want you to remember this. Money only changes hands when problems are solved. The bigger the problem, the more money people will pay to solve it, okay? So money only changes hands when problems are solved. The bigger the problem, the more money people will pay to solve it. So selling to me is simple. I just go out looking for problems. And here's the good thing. There's a lot of people that have a lot of problems. What's the problem? Can't get their revenue up, want to save money, want to make money, don't know where to put money. And so when I go out there and I'm looking for opportunity, I'm basically going out there every single week and I'm just trying to solve problems. I'm trying to uncover rocks. And so I'm going to show you how there are 4 big missing structures in most businesses today. And if we just fixed 1 or 2 of these big missing structures, there is no telling how much more money we could make, okay? And as I'm working through this webinar with you, I want you to think about, oh yeah, he got me there, he got me there, he got me there. Now, when I'm coaching people, I go to work basically on these 4 structures, okay? So there's 4 big missing components of every business. I don't care if it's a single solopreneur. I don't care if it's an office of people. I don't care if it's a billion-dollar company. You have one of these 4 missing structures. Missing structure number 1 is we do not have a world-class explanation of services. Okay, that's number 1. We're going to come back to that one. Okay, so I want you to write down EOS. EOS. We don't have a great EOS. Okay, that's first missing structure. The second missing structure is we do not have a selling system. So I want you to write that down, okay? We don't have a selling system. The third big missing structure we have is we do not have, and it's a big one, a 7-touch follow-up system when people indicate interest in our services. We do not go 7 touches. We're going to talk about that today. And the fourth big missing structure in most businesses is we are not extracting 5.7 referrals from every transaction. Okay? So we're not picking up 5.7 referrals. Very seldom do I coach a person and they're doing all 4 of those great. Typically, maybe they're great at prospecting, or they're great at follow-up, or they're great at referrals. But somewhere in those 4, we are all losing a lot of money. Now, once I show you where we're losing money, then we go to work on how we solve that. So let's go to work on number 1, okay? If we're going to get you a 43% increase in the first year, let me show you what we do. First, we're going to help you cultivate a world-class explanation of services. Very few people do this. So let me give you some beliefs. Number 1, I believe people do business with other people that believe the same things they do. So when I'm going out selling anything, financial services, real estate, mortgage, all I do is share with people what I believe. And I look to see if they believe it too. For example, I believe there's a difference between being rich and being wealthy. I believe rich people know how to make money. I believe wealthy people know how to have money work for them. Okay, I've heard some people say I believe that there's an attack on the wealthy. Whatever you believe, doesn't matter to me. Okay, I believe in sheltered money off the radar screen of the IRS legally. I've heard people say that one. That's a good one too. Now, when you think about what you believe, a good EOS will help you in so many areas because we're only going out there and aligning ourselves with other people who believe the same things we do. So imagine this. There's 7 billion people on planet Earth. You got your message of what you believe. You take your message out to the market and you share it with people. If they believe it, you say, great, step over here. We're interested in you and you're interested in us. If they don't believe it, step over here. It's okay. Some will, some won't. So what? So a good EOS has these parts to it. Number one, tell me what you believe. Number two, tell me why you believe it. Which gives me a chance to believe it too. Number three, tell me what it is you do. Like, be very specific. Like, I take complex concepts and I make them simple. Okay, what specifically do you do? Okay. Number four, tell me how you do it different than everybody else. It's always a hidden objection, guys. I'm always wondering, like, what's the difference between you and you? The product is not the difference. The service is not the difference. What is the difference between these two people? Number five, tell me who you've done it for. Now, if you're in an industry where you can't use names, you can say, I've done it for 5,000 people. I've done it for people just like you. I work with high net worth individuals just like you. I work with certain people that are doing intergenerational things, whatever the case may be. That's social proof. And then you ask a key question. If I could do this for you, just like I've done it for everybody else, what would stop us from getting started? Or out of everything I said, what piqued your interest the most? Now, the reason this is missing structure number one is I believe one of the single greatest advantages a person can have is in how they articulate their services. Think about the number of calls you take in a day. I mean, my salespeople are on the phone from 9 to 11 every single day. They're making 30, 40, 50 phone calls a day. They're explaining our services to people who may or may not know us. Most of you who are on this call got a phone call from my sales team today or yesterday or this week trying to push you to this webinar with me to get some extra coaching from me. They have to be able to explain. Here's what we believe. Coach Burt believes that trained people always outperform untrained people. He believes that everybody needs a good coach in life. He believes that because he's seen a good coach change a person's life. He believes he can get you a 43% increase if you just practice these four things. Because of that belief, let me tell you what he does. Takes complicated growth and makes it simple. Packages and deliver content in a way that gets you to move. Who's he doing it for? Well, he's coaching some of the biggest people in the world in saturated and commoditized industries. If he could do this for you and get you the same growth that he's got for all these other people, what would stop you from moving forward? That's an explanation of services, okay? So the first area is the EOS, all right? And until you have this, guys, let me just ask you a question. How can you position yourself? How can you brand yourself? How can you strategically partner with people? How can you hire people? See, until you get clarity about what it is you believe and what it is you do and who you do it for and how you do it different, until you have a conviction that you can ask other people that you want to do it for them, how can you go out and get new business? So I want you to think of it like this. You had a revelation at some point. Revelation is a big aha. It's like, man, I've seen something. Because of that revelation, I now have conviction. I believe at my core that I can help people in this area. And I believe it with every fiber of my being. Because of that belief, I have taken very specific actions. And I am so on fire for what it is I got and how it can help people. I am willing to go all over planet Earth and share it. Now, I'm going to share it with some people and they're not going to believe it. They're not going to be interested in it. They're not rejecting me. See, there is no such thing as rejection. They may not want what I have, but somebody else will. So I just got to change your mind a little bit about selling. Selling is not taking a product or service and shoving it onto people. Selling is really going out and finding other people that believe the same things you do and solving a problem for them with your unique skill set. Your talent solves their problem. And once you start solving problems at very high levels, man, you make a lot of money. You get paid in love and affirmation and referrals and reputation. But until you know, I ask people that have been in industries for years, like, tell me what you believe. And they don't know. Tell me what it is you do. They don't know. Tell me how you do it different than everybody else, because there's a million people competing in your space. They don't know. Why would I let you do it for me if you can't even articulate what you believe and why you believe it and what you do and why you do it different, okay? And so just remember, I've had revelation. I want you thinking right now what the big revelation you had. Because of revelation, you got some conviction. Because of your conviction, you take action. And I go out and find other people who share similar convictions as me, okay? Some will, some won't. So what? Now, once we got this, we got a great explanation of service. We believe having something to say is just as valuable as having somebody to say it to. Let me say that again. We believe having something to say is just as valuable as having somebody to say it to. So if I got young reps on my team, new team members, if I called your office today and said, explain to me what it is you guys do, could they even answer the question? So this is the first place we're losing money. It's a game changer. You can make a lot more money, guys, if you do a better job articulating your services, okay? Now, once we have our EOS together, and we got something valuable to say, we then move to our selling system. And our selling system is a calculated attack on how we go out and generate customers. So I want you to think of this. The purpose of any business is one thing, to create a customer and show a profit. You don't have a healthy business unless your business gives you excess cash at the end of every month that you can then reinvest. So the sign of a healthy business to me is the business is paying you, it's paying everybody else, it's paying your taxes, and you have excess money sitting over here that you can reinvest. Okay? If not, you're living paycheck to paycheck, and if you live in paycheck to paycheck, you got no money to invest, you can't build for your future. So what do we have to do? We got to get your revenue up. And this is the problem for a lot of people. Your revenue is not high enough, and your revenue is not high enough because you're not selling anything. You're not selling anything because you don't have enough strategies. So I come into every week, I have a Monster Producer Planner. This is a planner that I created, and it is around a selling system. So I'm going to show you the big four that I tackle every day. Every day I'm working, I'm doing four things. Every day I'm calling on new business, new money. That new money can come direct to consumer. It can come past client. It can come current client that I'm selling something new to. It can come through a strategic partnership. I call that the hit list. The second thing I'm doing every day is I'm working my farm club. My farm club are people who have indicated interest in my services. And we're going 7 touches. We're going the distance. Statistics tell me 7 to 15 touches 80% of the time to convert a new prospect to a client. 80% of the time. So every single day I'm working my farm club. So if you're looking at my planner, every day I got a hit list right here. And every day I got a farm club. This is today. Okay? Every day I got a hit list, new money. Every day I got a farm club. Now, when I'm working these two things, every day I'm servicing customers, but here's the way we do it in our shop. This is how I'm growing my business at about 206%. That's the rate I'm growing at right now. Every morning from 8:30 to 9, we're training. Training is not something you did one time. What you guys had to me was exposure. You got exposed to Coach Burt, but you haven't been trained by Coach Burt. Trained by Coach Burt would be every week, every month, you're being trained by me over and over and over and over, and there is a rhythm, and there is a pattern, and there's a consistency. Top athletes train every day. The military trains every day. Olympians train every day. Great salespeople don't go to a training and get exposed to a person. They are training every day. So every morning, my people are in the office, 8:30, and they're training. What are we training on? Outbound calls, scripts, how to handle objection, how to bounce back, how to articulate our services, how to pivot to a product. Okay, every day from 8:30 to 9, we're training. Okay, and we're having to go through scripts. Okay, then at 9 o'clock, we hit the phones. Every day at 9, from 9 to 11, we're on the phones, and we're making outbound prospecting calls. This is kind of a lost art for a lot of people. I think you can make $1 million more a year if you prospect every day for 2 hours. So 9 to 11, who are we calling on? Our hit list, our farm club. So we're calling on new money, direct to consumer we think we can help, past client, current client to sell something else to, strategic partnership. One of those four things: strategic partnership, past client, current client to sell something else, right? And every day it's 2 hours, 2 hours a day. Everybody, we're making 40, 50 phone calls a day, outbound. I'm generating about 350 leads through all of the activity I'm taking, and my sales team is just on the phones, banging it out every day. I don't know how you couldn't get better. So every day I'm calling on my hit list. Every day I'm calling on my farm club, and I'm going 7 touches, and we'll get to that in just a second. The third thing I'm doing is every day I'm loving on my current customers. So if you enrolled in our program, today I've been calling on new clients. So they just signed up. I'm calling. I'm welcoming them in. I'm getting them onboarded immediately. Here's what I want you thinking. When a person commits to you, when they share their credit card information or when they share information with you and they are committed, like the wheels on a hamster, I want something to happen. I want something to happen immediately. I don't want a second. So the minute a customer signs up for me, they get something. They get our online academy. They get a 15-day trial in my online academy. I say, let's get you up and let's get you training right now. We set in motion a one-to-one. We set in motion the orientation. We set in motion the dates of when they're going to get coached. I want them to know the minute they commit, we commit. And we're not going to let them fail. I mean the second. And I don't see a lot of people doing this. So today I was on the phone, loving on new customers, welcoming them to the program, excited about coaching you, making sure that they're getting onboarded correctly, making sure they know what we can do. Why? Because I want the 5.7 referrals we should be getting. The highest point of energy is when a person commits. When a person commits, that's the highest point of energy, okay? And so when you have this commitment level, I'm going to be asking Steve Outlaw, who do we need to be helping? Michael, who do we need to be helping? I believe like gravitates toward like. Dave, who do we need to be helping? If we're helping you, who else do we need to be helping? Okay? So when you're thinking about this rhythm that I'm getting in, every day I'm calling on new business, every day I'm trying to close business, and every day I'm loving on new customers. And then the fourth thing I'm doing every day is every day I'm loving on my biggest referral partners. Okay? And I call that my top 25. So I'll show you just a little trick that I use, and then I'll come back to this. If you look in my phone, I have what's called a full customer list that goes with me everywhere. Full customer list. And in that full customer list, it's subdivided. So it's in my phone, okay, active customers, and it shows you every single customer that we have. And right now we've got about 350, 400 customers. And in that, it shows you there's white, let me see if I can get it in front of the camera, white, green, and yellow. Yellow are customers I'm concerned about. White are customers I'm comfortable with. Green are customers who are out there actively fighting for us in the market. So I want you to think of every customer in one of three categories. They're in the foyer. That means they're lukewarm. They ain't sending you any business. They ain't sending you any new business. Just like somebody came to your house and you kind of just barely opened the door. You didn't let them in. You just barely opened. That's a foyer. Then you got customers that are in the living room. These are customers who are comfortable with you. They like you, but you're still kind of stuck in the friend zone with them. They're not really sending you any new business. They're doing business with you, but man, they could be stolen very easily. And then you got customers who are in the kitchen. And the customers in the kitchen are on fire for you. You are changing their whole deal. And they are like a little tribe, like a little army of people out there fighting for you. Well, my goal is to get 25 of those for your living room kitchen. For your living room kitchen. Never forget that, because every one of your categories, David Steig, every one of your categories is in one of those categories. They like you. They're comfortable with you. They love you. Okay? Now, so you say, Coach Burt, as part of your selling system, what are you doing every day? The way I'm growing 200%, not 43%, is I got a rhythm and I got a pattern. And 8:30 to 9, I'm training my little troops, and 9 to 11s, we're on the phone and we're working that system. Hit list, farm club, new customers, top 25. Hit list, farm club, new customers, top 25. Okay? Now, For the hit list, what are we saying? We're sharing our explanation of services, our EOS. Here's what we believe. Here's why we believe it. Here's what we do. Here's how we do it different than everybody else. Here's everybody we're doing this for. If this interests you, could we go to round 2? Okay? Now, so if you're prospecting every day for 2 hours, then I want to give you a high five. I want to give you a little fist bump, because very few people I'm coaching are doing that. It's very random. It's very sporadic. It's very all over the place. They're too busy being fabulous. Purpose of your business is to create a new customer. That's it. And to show a profit and to have excess cash that you can then reinvest in something. And if you don't have any excess cash to reinvest, your business ain't healthy enough. And your business ain't healthy enough because you're not doing enough strategies. Now, in the coaching program of Monster Producer, we teach you about 10 to 12 strategies. So I call it collusion. These strategies are working in conjunction with each other, like a machine, and it's driving up the leads. Right now, I'm sitting on about 350 leads, and it's because this machine that I've built. I'd like to have 1,000 leads. That's my goal. And then I pick and choose who I work with and who I don't. It should be everybody's goal. Now, third thing we're doing every week is as part of our missing structure is we don't have a great 7-touch follow-up. I wrote a book on this called $1 Million Follow-Up. Okay? Statistics tell me this, guys and girls, 7 touches. It takes 7 touches 80% of the time to convert a prospect to a client. Most people go 2 touches, if that. Okay? Most people go 2 touches. What's happening is there's a current of the urgent. And the current of the urgent means if you understand the brain has 3 parts. The front part of the brain, which is the crocodile brain, scared of everything. Then it's got the midbrain, and then it's got the neocortex. Decisions are made at the neocortex level. The croc brain is just moving, and it doesn't have time. If it's not an emergency or it's not urgent, we just ignore it. If it's not an emergency or it's not urgent, you just get ignored. People make big decisions on the weekends. And you know why they make big decisions on the weekends? Because their mind is relaxed and their neocortex is involved. This is why people make big financial decisions on the weekend. This is why people buy houses on the weekend. This is why people buy cars on the weekend. Well, if you're not banging on them and involved in their life and going 7 touches, they forget about you. Now, children have object impermanence. Jack, make sure you get the names of everybody who's on here today, too, okay? You'll take a picture with my phone if you need to or whatever, because I want to make sure we contact everybody that's on here with that $1 million follow-up, because that's what we're talking about, okay? You can't be lazy in your follow-up. Don't get lazy on me. All right? Now, the neocortex is making these decisions. So my philosophy is simple. I make up my mind if I would like to pursue a person in the first 15 seconds. Okay, so I meet a person, I'm looking eyeball to eyeball with them, and I share what? This is what I believe. This is why I believe it. This is what I do. This is how I do it different. This is everybody I'm doing it for. We build rapport, we build chemistry, and they go, I'm interested, coach. Great, because I'm interested in you too. I'm going to follow up with you, and I want to rekindle this. So here's the deal. If the neocortex makes big decisions, it's so busy. If you notice, a lot of these financial advisors that are on here that saw me speak last week, you should have gotten an email almost immediately after seeing me speak. Then you should have gotten a phone call at your office. Then you got a follow-up from my team. And what I'm doing is I'm practicing what I preach, man. If we were coaching your people, this is how people would follow up. Because the amount of money that's lost is ridiculous in follow-up. If you're pitching me a big product, where I'm buying a car, where I'm making a big financial decision, where I'm buying a house, I'm not going to make that decision typically on the first time because my neocortex is not involved. So what I teach people is a 7-touch follow-up, a great, consistent follow-up where I do 2 things with the consumer. I challenge the consumer to think. and I rekindle the initial attraction. And if I did a third thing, I'm going to show them how I can solve their problem better than anybody else. Okay? So money changes hands when problems are solved. Let me help you solve the problem. I've shown a demonstrated capacity. That's why I love the parable of the talents in the Bible. Is one interpretation of the parable of talents is a demonstrated capacity. When you show a demonstrated capacity to use your talents, you get more. When you bury your talent, you lose it. Somebody else gives right? To whom who used it, give them more. To the person who buried it, take it away from them. Well, when you show a demonstrated capacity for people, you get lots of referrals because people are going, man, this guy got me this guy got me this guy got me this, and referability is when great people tell other great people. So when I follow up with the person, I may say this, Ty, you told me what you wanted and I brought it to you. Have you seen enough to make a decision? I may say, Ty, we lose 10% or more momentum every day we don't act. If I was in the financial services industry, I'd say you're losing the forward momentum of money every day that you sit on your money. And we can't get that back. How would you feel? How would you feel if I called you 10 years from now and you lost this much money because you didn't take action? There is power in taking action. So what I teach in Monster Producer in the coaching program is how to follow up appropriately to show how you could solve the problem, rekindle the initial attraction, and bring their attention back to the moment of chemistry of, yes, I do have a problem, and yes, I do. I think you have the solution. Now, this is vital because you're probably not going 7 touches like you should, or your team's not going 7 touches, and it could be the way you follow up is all wrong. You got to get out of this. I was just touching base, just following up, just want to see if you're ready to take action. Do you have any questions? These are all some of the worst things people say. Challenge the prospect. So if you say, I was thinking about you, say there's 2 specific things. I'm ready to take action. Okay, even if I'm talking about this, there's ways I could follow up better with people. Okay, if I could help you get a 43% increase, what would stop you from taking action today? Okay, I'm thinking of a person I need to follow up with right now. Okay, he may have got mad at me because he said he had to talk to his wife, and I said, did you get permission from your wife to grow your business 43%? But I challenge people, and I have fun with them, guys. I have fun with them, okay? So $1 million follow-up is the third missing structure. 7 touches. Purpose of the follow-up is to rekindle, challenge the prospect, show them how you can solve the problem better than anybody else, and create a forward momentum. Never forget, I'm moving people from the foyer to the living room to the kitchen. I'm always pushing people to something. There's never, well, let me follow back up. I'm pushing people to something, okay? And the final missing structure to grow your business 43% is, are you extracting 5.7 referrals from every transaction? And if you're not, then you're not extracting the fullness of the relationship. And I have met very few people that I'm coaching that are actually extracting these 5.7 referrals from every deal. It's like they're not asking. If I've had revelation, if I've got conviction, if I've taken action, if it's helping you, why wouldn't you want other people? Why wouldn't you want it to help other people? So do you believe in you or not? So the way I ask for referrals is simple. Here's how I ask for referrals. I believe like gravitates toward like. I believe association breeds assimilation. I love working with you. And if I love working with you as much as I do, I'd take 10 of you if I could get you. But there's not 10 of you. But I guarantee you got other people just like you that I need to be helping. So I never have a conversation with a client where I don't say, who else do I need to be helping? If I've created value for you, who else can I create this same value for? Because I believe like gravitates toward like. We've got a client named Kristen Stayback. And, man, and I'll tell how many referrals this girl has sent us. And I tell her all the time, if I could have 10 Kristen Staybacks, I would take 10. Matter of fact, I'd take 100 of you. But since I can't get 100 of you, I take 100 of your friends, Kristen. Who else do we need to be helping? And if we could go out and drive the same kind of results for them that we have driven for you, would that be valuable to your friends? Wouldn't it make you look like a rock star? And so I'm extracting those referrals. I want my team pushing and exerting energy and attracting people. That's how we've got these 350 leads. And I want to constantly push people to something. Hey, will you invite your friend to this? Will you have them come to this for free? Will you have them sit in on this webinar? Will they come to Monster Producer and check in on this one thing? Okay? Now, if we go to work, and I'm going to take questions right after this. If we go to work on those 4 areas, there is no telling. Here's the exciting part. I got goosebumps. Jack, the hair on my head's growing right now, man. I'm so excited. If we just fixed one of these 4 missing structures, do you know how much more money that your practice is going to make this year? How much more money you're going to make if we just went to work on these 4 things? World-class EOS, 4 things in a selling system every day, 7 touches in my follow-up, and 5.7 referrals out of every client. Now, I have a philosophy. I don't believe in customer service. You're sitting there going, what? I believe in customer engagement. Where there is no usage of my product or my services, there can be no change or transformation. And where there's no transformation, there can be nothing to talk about. So I don't have any referrals unless I'm getting my clients ridiculous results that they're running and telling other people. And sometimes I'm feeding them energy. Sometimes I'm feeding them strategy. Sometimes I'm finding their missing structure. Sometimes I'm just infusing my confidence, my contagious confidence, into them. Okay? Does anybody have any questions on these 4 areas that we're coaching people on? You can turn your microphone on and ask me. Steve Outlaw, I know you've been coming to a lot of the classes. I see Ty. I see Michael. Steve. Let's see, David Steeg. Andrew. If you got any questions, you can type those in the chat box, or you can just ask me. Turn your microphone on and ask me. I'll be happy to answer any questions that you have. Don't be shy. Don't be bashful. Here's what I say. When I get a new customer, for a long time, what I felt like we were deficient in is when a new customer comes on board with us, I didn't feel like we had a good onboarding system. So the customer didn't really understand the extent of all the reach and range and services we could help them. They didn't really know how to articulate what we were doing for them. And because of that, they kind of seemed lost. And so I hired 2 guys out of New York City to coach me. And it was very expensive. They were coaching me in how to build a national brand. And it's like the minute I said yes, the minute they had a contract, it's like the wheels on the bus started moving. They started making introductions. It was like immediate. And I was so impressed by that I came back to my team and I said, when a person commits to us, I want the wheels on the bus to start turning. I want them to know, I don't want them to have buyer's remorse for 1 second. And that's not how I see a lot of people do it. So when I say loving on our new customers, what I'm really saying is welcoming them, onboarding them properly, explaining our services, explaining how to extract the full capacity out of our services so that they're kind of on fire and telling other people. That's what I mean by loving on our current customers. Now, with my top 25, I see Andrew Alexander peeking in there. With my top 25, what I'm focused on is I have subdivided my customer list from 350 down to 25 people that I believe have the highest referral capacity. And those people get special attention, special energy, VIP access to me. They get a lot more access to me than anybody else does because that's a very elite group of people who can make us, millions of more dollars. So when I showed you my customer list a minute ago, you would see those greens. Those greens are people that they're way up here. Not that all customers are not important. All relationships are not equal. So my top 25, I love on them in special ways every week. Okay, great question. Okay, let me finish this off by this, guys. Here's what I would tell you. The reason I designed my coaching program, Monster Producer, around these 4 things is I was out there in the world coaching lots of people, financial advisors, real estate agents, insurance agents, anything that's in a commoditized industry. And I saw the same patterns over and over and over and over. And I said, man, these guys are losing money in these areas. And it is consistent. It is the same place every single week. And so this is where I got to help them. And if we just solve one of these 4 problems, man. So I was sitting down with the insurance guy yesterday, and he's in the first year of the program with me. And I said, give me your numbers. He said, last year I made $100,000. He said, this year I'm on a track to make about 160, 170. And I said, so I told you I'd get you a 43% increase, and I got you 50. Is that good enough for you? And he said, it is, Coach. And he said, I ain't even done everything you taught me. I said, well, imagine if you did everything I taught you, what we'd be getting you. We'd probably get you a 100% increase. So, guys, I want to say thank you for being on the webinar with me today. Listen, I want you to be in Monster Producer. Monster Producer is my monthly systematic coaching cycle where I'm coaching people month after month after month, and it is the pure repetition of me coaching. Some of you are local, some of you are national, and the way you absorb that program is every month I live stream. I teach this live to a live audience. We live stream it to you. Then I do 2 additional sessions per month that you get access to. Then I do 2 accountability sessions a week that you get access to. There's about 9 touches in a month of me coaching you. And we start with where you want to go, and I say, how do we get you there? How do we get you toward that dominant focus? You tell me what your dominant focus is, and let's push you toward that. So some of you have teams, and we really need to get your team better at their follow-up. We need to get them better at explaining their services. We need to get them better at extracting referrals. And so we have programs for monster teams. We have programs for monster producers. But if it were me, I would keep you in a dynamic state. And I want you to seriously consider, if you're already in Monster Producer, some of you are, thank you for being in that program. But if you're not in Monster Producer, it's not uncommon that we're growing people's business 43+% in a 1-year cycle. And so I really want you to consider that. So if you're on the call today with us and you're interested in me personally coaching you, and me giving you 3 live sessions a month, me giving you 8 accountability sessions a month, 1 strategy to your inbox every week, private Facebook group, access to over 250 people of like-minded people. If you're interested in that, make sure that we have your name and everything, and we will follow up with you because, man, I love coaching people. Jack, my producer's in here. I love coaching people, and it brings me great joy and passion to help people go out and double their business in a 1-year cycle. So if you're interested in that program, guys, let me know, info@coachburt.com, and we will help you enroll. We'll answer any questions that you have. I believe everybody needs a good coach in life. I believe you can't see the picture when you're inside the frame, and I always believe that trained people outperform untrained people. Thank you for joining us on the webinar, guys. We look forward to working with you.